Alright, I got the turbo kit in the shop here. This is the kit that came off the red and gray parts truck. And it's an old CTS turbo kit, which is Canadian Turbo Systems. They use a Schwitzer turbo on it. And I actually just, when I brought it in the shop here, finally noticed the tag, and that's how I knew it was a Schwitzer. And it's got a serial number and a model number and a part number. So hopefully, like, we're gonna like pull this apart and check the internals out. And we should hopefully be able to get a rebuild kit for it. Some parts for the inside if we need them. I mean, it feels really good. The guy that sold me this truck told me the turbo was ruined, but I mean, a buddy of mine had a look at it too. He's a heavy duty mechanic. It's super, like, no play at all in there. Spins really nice. And I can't see any contact at all. It doesn't look like it's ever made contact. So hopefully it's good, but I had a couple issues taking it off the truck. I couldn't get this out, so I ended up snipping the wires off. Luckily, it's just like two regular, like, I don't know what it is, like 18 gauge wires. So I might hook that back up, but you know what, I'm like not too fond of the CTS gauge. It's kind of cool because this is the original like CTS gauge here. This truck was a 94, so this kit was probably like mid 90s. But it has the exhaust temp and the boost in one gauge like that. It was broken down here where it mounted onto the dash. If I can make this gauge work, I'll probably just maybe make a new piece for it to slip into. I don't know, use a piece of like ABS and some fiberglass and mold it all so it fits somewhere nice, looks clean. But that's the gauge, so that one might work, but we'll see. Maybe it'll work just in the interim anyways, you know. And then the other issue I had was I couldn't get this out of here. And I had another CTS turbo kit a couple of years back. I ended up trading it for some junk. It was kind of like the guy who I got it from, the motor had blown up, and I didn't really trust it. It was kind of pieced together. It was missing a couple of pieces. It was missing like the hat, which is I cleaned the parts washer. I got a bunch of parts in here that I'm gonna have to clean apart. It was missing this piece here, the hat or the snail or whatever you want to call it, and this like goes on top of the factory 7.3 IEI intake. So it kind of like, they used a chunk of exhaust pipe. What is it, like 5 or 6 inch exhaust pipe, and then they like welded a cap on it, and then they had a piece of smaller exhaust pipe they kind of like welded into the side of it. Anyways, the other kit I had, it was kind of like I wasn't happy with it. It wasn't complete, and it wouldn't have looked good on the truck. So I got to try and get this apart. And like I said, the last kit I had, it had like almost like I'm not sure, it's not a snap ring. It almost looks like a piston ring that goes on here, and then it like clipped in, I think, or something. So I'm gonna need some heat to try and get that apart, and I'm gonna need some heat to get that out of there. And my oxy and my acetylene are both empty, so I'm gonna have to, like, I got the whole week off because it's Christmas coming up. I took a week off, so I'm gonna run into town, fill both my bottles up, and then I'll be able to get this apart. And yeah, strip this all down, clean everything in the parts washer, inspect everything. You know, like that there looks kind of nasty. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was. My dad's got a little like sandblasting cabinet, so I think I'm going to blast all this stuff. And then this here, I might even just get some really fine material and do the aluminum parts too, clean them all up. The biggest problem with this kit that I took off is this is the like Y pipe, and it's busted apart everywhere. Like right here, see, that's all cracked along there. Just really, it's toast. So I'm gonna put it all, I'm gonna mock the turbo up on my you can't see it, it's all covered up in the corner there, my spare 7.3. I'm gonna clean all the turbo up, get it all ready, bolt it on there, and then I might try and see see what I can use from this, get a couple new pieces made up or whatever, and put it together on that other motor, so when I unbolt it, it'll bolt right onto the red truck, and away we go. No messing around trying to get parts to fit once it's on there. I think that if I maybe took this to an exhaust shop, they'd be able to make all the pieces for me, but I'm worried that if I take these pieces somewhere, have them remade, and then bring them back, they might not quite fit right. We'll have to see when we get there. That's kind of going to be get all the turbo cleaned up, put back together, then I'll deal with this last. I ordered a bunch of parts for this thing. Yesterday I went into town, I ordered my headliner, I ordered my seat belts, I ordered enough sound deadener, this Hushmat sound deadener, which I've got here. I've got this for the GTO. Enough Hushmat sound deadener to do the inside. I ordered MBRP 4-inch Aussie style stack, black one, and the single stack kit. What else did I order for this thing? Did I say seat belts? I ordered seat belts, the headliner, new ignition cylinder, a new ignition bezel, because those have been, I lost the keys for it at some point and had to punch the ignition cylinder out of it, and the bezel's always been broken, so it twists in there. I don't want it scratching the chipping the paint on the dash when you're trying to start it, because it'll like twist a bit. And I ordered a nice fuel pump for it with a regulator, Holly blue fuel pump with a regulator. And the reason everybody online says to use I got my fuel pump down here, and this is the second Chinese fuel pump that I've had in this thing that's calf. So I said, I'm buying a good fuel pump. I'm not dealing with this crap anymore. So this is just like a no-name. You can't even see it in there. It's black plastic piece of junk. So the guy that I deal with said, you could go with the Holly red, which I think is 7 PSI. That's what they recommend for these motors. But he said the Holly blue comes with a fuel regulator on it, so I can just regulate the pressure back. And then, you know, I don't know like if it'll need more pressure when I put the turbo on or not, but we'll have to see. And then I'm gonna 2 new batteries. So I want to get the fuel pump and the 2 new batteries in here. Because these batteries, they came out of my white truck, and this thing had new batteries, and I put the new batteries in my white truck because I just couldn't justify leaving them sitting in this thing. So a fuel pump, 2 batteries, try and get that done this week. This thing's going to go over to my dad's place. I'm going to store it in his shop. We're going to bring the box back here, and then I can get going on the box. And on the box, I'm going to have it sandblasted hopefully in the next week or 2. We're going to take it in on the car trailer, have them sandblast the whole thing, then I'll bring it back, epoxy prime it. I'm going to order all my metal to build the inside of the box, and I'm doing something really cool on the box on this. I have the whole bed floor cut out on it because there was like some rust issues, and all the cross members cut out, and I'm essentially building kind of like a flat deck inside the box, and then the box sides and the header and the rear cross member are all going to hang on this, kind of like it's all going to be structurally sound. And then I'm going to have a wood bed floor put in it, and it's not going to be like one of those kits you see online where the wood bed floor goes over top of the steel bed floor, or it's like, you know, it's going to actually be like inset, and it's going to look really good. So I'm going to get started on that in the next, hopefully, well, if I get the metal ordered and the box sandblasted and back here and the truck to my dad's, you know, between, I got to do the fenders and the hood on the GTO, and I got to get the box done, so I'm going to kind of work on those. I'll have enough space to do everything in here once the 64 is at my dad's. But I got the interior, see, like, I'm just going to hush mat the ceiling there, or I guess the inside of the roof, not ceiling. And then I'm going to do the firewall and all the floor, but I'm thinking we're going to have some issues with the turbo kit, and I'm going to have to cut a section out of the floor and build like a piece that bolts in there, rivets in there. So that's kind of like, yeah, there's just a few things to sort out with that too. But and then like all my knobs are kind of old. I'm just going to wait to order that stuff because I just like everything's like lines up pretty good. I haven't put these pieces on yet. I still got the old ones. Eventually I'll replace all the knobs on the dash. I got the dash all together, odometer gauges. And then yeah, I want to order a new steering wheel to a nice, like an aftermarket steering wheel, something black with the wood on the outside. And then got the old Roadrunner split shifter on there. Thought that was a pretty cool shifter knob. Somebody gave it to me years ago, and it's a nice big shifter knob, looks cool, you know. And then I got the seat in. This is just a seat I picked up for 25 bucks. It was much better than the seat that was in here. I figured 25 bucks, I already had the seat cover, threw the seat cover on it. That'll do me for now. I just want to get this thing on the road now. I want to get it on the road for like late spring, so yeah. So I'll get this turbo all pulled apart, and then we're gonna have a look at it. So I kind of like came to a stopping point on stripping this down because I need to fill up my oxyacetylene bottles, and I still obviously couldn't get this apart, but I figured I'd go from this side, pull all this apart, and maybe I can heat up on the inside there and try and get that out. But I can't get this out of here either. The center section is stuck on this side, probably just from the heat over the years and the rust built up in there, whatever. So I'm going to have to maybe run it into work tomorrow and throw some heat on it, or, well, I gotta get my bottles filled up anyways, but I like really need to get my regulators on my torches like rebuilt, so I kind of gotta do that too. But it all looks pretty good. I don't see any marks in the wheel at all. Looks pretty good. Nice and tight. There's absolutely no play in there. Spins nice. So I'm going to sort that out tomorrow. I'm going to stop at the sandblasters there and see when I can drop my box off. It's supposed to be nice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I'm hoping I can like drop it off on Wednesday and then pick it up on Friday and get some primer on it while it's not raining. Anyways, so I have this other turbo up on my shelf, and a friend gave this to me, and I think this came off a Chevy, and I'm not sure, what are they, 6.5s? I can't remember. But I've had this for a while, and it has the external wastegate on it, and it looks to have the same mounting flange, and it's got the same mounting flange, so like the stuff that would bolt on to the 7.3 would work. But I'm gonna measure the like, I don't know much about turbos, but if you ask me, this looks like a more efficient design, the CTS kit. I don't actually know. I'm curious to know what the diameter of this wheel is on this thing. And the other thing too is it has, well, see, somebody's like Mickey Moused that together, but it looks like, see, I could probably, like, this is the oil drain back on the CTS kit, and the hose that came off that is rock hard. Like, it's no good. I'm gonna have to find a new hose that'll work for it. I think it's probably just a regular rubber, some kind of rubber hose that'll withstand the oil. But I can probably make a plate with and weld a bung on it that'll bolt on there and have a better drain back system, I think, than that. Like, see this drain back here? That's way too small of a diameter. And then this one here is, like, you can see, much bigger. So I'd probably say that I wouldn't bother doing anything with this turbo on this build, and just looking at it, like, it looks much. Let's do a side by side here. Yeah, see, the CTS kit looks much bigger. The exhaust side, like, this is the exhaust housing on the supposed, I looked this online, I'm pretty sure it's a Chevy, not a Duramax, I want to see, is it 6.2? Yeah, I think it's a 6.2 Chevy diesel, like the mid-90s ones. So like, look at how small the exhaust side on that is. And then look, this is the CTS kit. Like, that looks a lot better. And I mean, it's already got, it's kind of, the other thing too is like this here, I don't know if you can see this, but this downpipe, it's kind of got a little bit of a, it kind of flattens out a bit there. So that would be not too bad to get between the engine and the firewall on the 64. But if I use this one here, I'm gonna have to use like a, I don't know, what is that, let's see. That's over 3.5 inches. That's gonna be a 3.5 inch downpipe. I guess I could flatten it out somehow. Somebody just gave me this turbo. I've just been saving it. But you know what? This, I'll just save this for something else. Who knows? Build something crazy maybe. But I'll show you like on the 64 here. So let me get the hood open. Like, see that? There's not a lot of room there. I'm gonna have to, like, I think probably cut a section out of there and make a thing that bolts in. And that's right. Oh, see, that's not too bad. I've actually got, I bet I got 3 inches in there. See? So if I had to cut this section out, like down like that, that'll probably be okay. There's actually quite a bit of room. I think I'm only gonna have to notch a small piece out. Where's that seam? The seam's right there. I think I'm only gonna have to cut a small spot out. Terrible camera work here. I think I'm only gonna have to, because the seam between the firewall goes right here, so I'm gonna have to like cut this out. So I might have to take the heater box back out, but I gotta drain the, it doesn't have any antifreeze in it. It has water in it, which is really bad because these blocks are pretty bad for cavitation. So I gotta get the water out of there, but I want to get the fuel pump in and the batteries in. And then, like I said, I'll take another look at this. Yeah, see, I think there's the firewall seam. You can see the pinch weld there. So I'm gonna have to just notch maybe like a, I'd say 4 inch by 6 inch area out there and have a piece that kind of like bolts in there, and then I can unbolt it. It's like kind of like you unbolt it, take it out. I'll be able to take the turbo on and off if I want, or service it, or you know. Anyways, that's the plan for this week. So hopefully I can get this, you know, stop by the sandblaster tomorrow, arrange for the sandblasting the box, order my metal up, get this turbo pulled back apart, and then I'm going to be waiting on some stuff. I got to wait for the box to get sandblasted, got to wait for the metal for the box to come. I'm waiting for the fuel pump. That'll be here this week, so I'll get that done. And then get it running again with the new fuel pump and the new batteries. Get it moved over to my dad's shop, and then once that's done, I don't know, we'll see what shows up for parts. I mean, if I can get the sandblasting on the box done this week and order the steel up, I mean, I'll be getting on, I could be able to get on that right away. Once this is moved out of here too, get back on the GTO here. See, I got this all in primer just the other day there. This is a polyester primer, Slick Sand, and I really like using this. I use this on the Red Ford too. And there's no gasket in the trunk right now, but the gaps on the trunk are pretty good. You can see like it's kind of loose there. No gasket. That'll be brought up like that. I got all the gaps pretty good in there. And then a lot of time fitting panels on this to get the gaps this good, eh? Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I go to a car show and I look at a vehicle, it's like, has a pretty decent paint job on it. You can see the gaps a bit tight up there. This thing had 2 quarter panels put on it in the 70s. Horrible job. I only got new quarter panels. I spliced them in here. So it's a little bit tight at the top, but the door also is sitting up, and once it has some weight in it, see? Yeah, so that'll look pretty good. It's all about the gaps. You know, the paint job could be mediocre, but if I look down a vehicle and the door is hanging out past the quarter panel and you know, or the door's hitting the fender or something, that just looks terrible. So I got all this done. I got a one spot up here I gotta fix. There was a couple little pinholes up in this corner here, and I just taped it off so I can pull the tape back and fix those. I just really wanted to get this in primer because it was sitting in filler and it's getting cold, damp out, it's winter. The hood's all stripped down and I've got it all repaired. So this is kind of like I gotta finish the filler work on the hood, a little bit of metal work. The fenders, I have a bunch of metal work to do on one fender, the other one's really nice. And then get all the filler work and primer done on those and my box. I'm gonna kind of work on all that at the same time. Get that out of the way, and then probably I'll be back on mechanical work on this Ford, get the turbo kit, start getting on the turbo kit after that. There's so many little things to try and finish it up. Anyways, thanks for watching.